Hello and welcome to another episode of the Tough Crowd podcast. My name's Maisie.
I'm Emma.
And I'm Jenny.
Welcome.
How's everyone? Welcome back. It's Monday.
And Maisie, where are you recording from today?
Central Louisiana.
Nice.
Let's go. I'm in quaint Alexandria, Louisiana. My hotel room looks out on a field across from an abandoned hotel.
Could be worse.
So that's
You could be
It could
staying
be
in
worse.
the abandoned hotel.
Or the field.
luckily
That would
my
typically
manager,
be one I would book you at.
yeah, luckily my manager had my back, aka mom. She sent me with
So-
my folder of
So we joke
confirmations.
that mom can't go anywhere without moving hotels at least once. So if mom was with you on the trip, would you have moved hotels?
No, this one's actually great. It's like there are also no options here, so this is what I get.
I don't know. By the looks of that headboard, I'm doubtful. What's going on there?
Yeah, it looks like a concussion waiting to happen.
It's just, when there's like wood against
okay.
the wall, it's kind of that.
It's a faux
It's
headboard.
nice. I got all my stuff set up on the opposite bed.
Nice.
How long are you there for?
I'm here for a week, but 3 weeks total in the south. It's
You have a
I'm a
rental
fish
car?
out of water. Yeah, I got a what is it? It's like a Dodge, Hornet.
What's that?
I didn't even know they still made
It's like this all black mid-size SUV, but it has a loud engine and it's like there's a button for sport mode.
Stop. Did you press it?
I mean, a Dodge
No,
Hornet
I
to
would
me is
not
like
press
a
it.
car from the 70s that should be lime green.
Oh, they make new ones.
It
The
has
new
Apple
ones aren't bad
CarPlay.
looking.
No, but
Yeah,
like
it's that in black.
if you look up an old Dodge Hornet, it's
just funny
not
because
attractive.
I literally get out of the car here anywhere and everyone does a double take because I'm just like a cutesy girl with my Lululemon and everyone's like, who is that?
You're calling
And-
yourself cute?
And I literally almost had a panic attack today. Like I was on 17. We couldn't get yardage books today, so I had to take notes and use a yardage thing on my phone. And so my phone was like at 3% on 18. And then I realized, oh my God, if my phone dies, I don't know how to get back to the hotel. And I'm like, I'm running 18. I'm like, come on, Maisie, hurry.
Don't you
And-
have CarPlay though? So you have a cord in the car or no?
No, it does it Bluetooth. And
Oh.
so I was panicking. And so I stopped at the gas station right next to the golf course and got a cord because I was like, otherwise I'm screwed.
Well, you
and then
didn't have a cord for the car at all?
No, because I only brought my charger for the hotel.
Ah, well, that's bad planning.
But yeah, now I have one. I'm like, it's a mess here.
This is why
But-
traveling alone is good for her mom because you come so over
Right.
prepared. She's never had to think about a preparation in her life. Mom's like, you need a cord for that? Let me pull out my cord bag and probably has a whole bag.
Yeah,
of cords.
no,
That could
seriously.
fit any device, any attachment.
It's true.
And I went to a Walmart Supercenter last night, and I've
Those are
never
nice, aren't they?
been so overwhelmed, but you could live there. You can do your taxes, you can get insurance, you can get your hair cut, and you
They
can
have an
eat
eyeglass
all in the
store.
same. Yeah, they had an eyeglass
Do they
store.
sell mattresses so you could sleep somewhere?
100%.
No, they definitely do. And I was so overwhelmed in there.
What about for
That's
your
what they
next
have at my
tournament? What
school.
about for your next tournament if you just went to a Walmart with all your stuff and sidled around till they closed it and then slept there for the night? You'd have everything you needed.
It's true. I'm in a casino next week, so maybe
Are
I'll
you
be
gonna give
playing
into your
some
gambling
blackjack. No. Should I go play a round of? I'll do a TikTok. Come play a round of blackjack with me.
Or
I think
slots.
you need that.
That sounds
Slots?
fun.
No,
I want
that's-
to
I feel
be a
like-
lover.
What's the one with the chips on the felt and you roll the dice?
That's Oh,
Is that-
that's
Oh, where you're like
Craps?
you like put it on a number.
I don't
That's
think
craps,
it's
I
craps.
They always teach. No, they always
Sure.
I think it is.
they
Look
always
it up.
feature that in a movie when they're like in a casino scene
Yeah.
and they're like,
Monica
Right.
and Friends is a gambling addict when they went to Vegas
And what's
and
the
she
one where
couldn't
they
leave the table.
What's the one where they spin the wheel with the ball? Roulette?
That's I feel like
oh,
yeah,
Russian
that
roulette.
sounds right. I've never done any of these. I've never been to a casino. Like
Or
I've
is
walked
that-
Never
through
been
one.
to a casino?
I've been to one like in the Bahamas, but I haven't sat down and played gambling
Oh, me either.
games. So don't
Yeah,
act like you've been to casinos all a ton.
Craps is
I've
the
actually been to them quite a bit. I just never gamble.
Craps is the one where players bet on the outcomes of the roll of a pair of dice.
Oh.
And they put their chips on the little felt squares there. And
Let the
roulette, I think,
chips
is the one where
fall where they may.
the ball spins.
Is that where that
Ring
comes
spins.
from? Let the chips fall where they may.
I don't know.
Oh,
It just came to my mind
probably.
right then.
nice.
You
Look at
know,
us.
just
We're so
smart over
smart.
here.
So here I am managing the menagerie of dogs. Emma's dog
Yeah.
is here until she comes back. And today there was a squirrel on the top of the screen of the lanai. Out here in Florida, we have screens over the pools in the pool area. And the
Called
squirrel lanai. And the squirrel likes to run across the top of it. And the dogs took notice of it and ran down to the end and were barking at it. And I was taking a video to send to a friend because I had just told her about this thing. And as I'm taking the video, Emma's dog Otis sprints down the end and sprints into the pool like he just walked in and fell in the pool. And it took me a second to realize that he was drowning probably. So I threw the phone down and got him sinking underwater, soaking wet. And then he did it again. So I'm soaking wet from the waist down. And
We're gonna need one of those things that like you probably
The
wouldn't have had to
child
get it until
ones.
someone had a baby, but you'd put it directly around the pool, so like a baby can't walk and fall into the pool or do that. We have to get that sooner because Otis is
The
gonna be
second
a
time he fell
liability.
in, he was prepared because he was going to be Michael Phelps and swim across the diagonal of the pool.
he does.
would have
swim.
made it.
Like, he goes in the ocean and he
He
swims
was
pretty
determined. He had a look
far.
in his eye like, I don't need you. And I was like, no, I'm not going to get in the middle of the pool. I'm not letting you get that far.
Mom like goes in the pool maybe once every 18 months. So
Maybe.
she had to get in the
Twice
pool
today.
Twice today. Reaching your arm in. Oh Lord.
Tomorrow's April Fool's Day, Mom. Do you have something planned for Dad?
I'm working on it.
Oh, you
Poor
can't share it,
Dad.
though.
I'll share it.
Poor Dad's just like working away.
Look at her smirk.
Getting
She's
We'll
got
share it
something
after
brewing.
after
You
April
have
Fool's.
Probably
something
gonna prank
brewing.
us too. You know who'd be
Yeah,
the
but-
easiest person to prank in the world? Bobby Finney. I should really get on the prank train.
You really should. You got to start a tradition. I've been doing this since we're first married. So
I know. But I'm not as good of like a pranker as you.
I
Like,
can't lie.
I start laughing too quickly.
Yeah, me too.
Mum's the word, so I'll let you know.
I'm
She's
scared now.
she's probably gonna prank us too.
But don't
just
mention that it's April
beware.
Fool's coming up to Dad if you talk to him, because that he's
I
gonna
won't.
be on to me.
I won't at all.
I got to get it geared up. I got to think of a couple. I have a couple of thoughts already. So we shall see. The other thing is,
We'll
Maisie
see.
and I went to a new restaurant last week. What did you think about that restaurant, Maze?
I thought it was really good. They come and serve you pieces of bread.
Well,
and
what
so
restaurant
at
was
first,
Whoa,
that's
whoa,
a
wait,
good
wait.
question.
Back up. Yes, go ahead.
Harry's
it?
in West Palm, which is like the sister restaurant to Adrian's Pizza. Is it Adrian's
Yes.
Pizza? Bro?
And they're also in New York as well.
But I think Adrian's Pizza came second. I think Harry's was there first.
I
I
thought
don't
they
know.
were like owned by the same people.
They are.
But, oh.
No, I know, but I think Adrian's came after.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So we went there, then they serve you bread. So Mom and I were like, oh, like we're cut off at one piece. But no, they keep offering you more pieces. So that was the first green check
But
mark.
what I have a question though about the bread is why is it that way now? Why can't they just give us the whole bread?
maybe
back?
That's
tastes
not
fresh.
everywhere.
They can't.
It's
trust
not
us?
everywhere. They just do it there.
I know, but a lot
Also,
of
maybe it
places
tastes
are
fresh
into
that
that
way.
now. Oh, that's true.
You know what? America is fat, so maybe we need some.
Yeah, like we
rules
don't need
and
all the bread.
regulations.
But can we talk
It puts a
about,
little peer pressure. Do you want a third?
can we talk about the guy that served us the bread? He looked like he would play a Russian gangster. Did he not?
I mean, that didn't
Was
come
he
to
Russian?
mind. I don't think so.
Mom
I
has
think he
to
was.
He was
everything
dressed-
she means.
but he
Mom
was
can't
like-
just be like, he's a person. Mom's like, he's a Russian gangster. He's in the mafia. He's in the mob.
She was just laughing because he was standing. I was in the chair side. She was in the booth side, and he was, I guess, like standing behind me, like with his arms crossed, like at the ready when like anyone needed anything. And she just
Was he
kept
just a
staring
bread
at
guy?
him.
What was
He
that?
just
Just
helped
do bread?
out. No, he did other. I don't really know what he did.
I don't know. It was
wasn't
a
your waiter.
mix of servers that I couldn't tell whose job was whose. And then Arturo was our waiter, but then Arturo started out really too strong, probably because at the end he flaked out on us. He was gone.
Okay, he didn't
No
flake
mo-
out. He was letting us
no.
enjoy our dessert.
Yeah, there was no water though. I was really thirsty.
Oh, she did ask for
I
water.
did ask for water
and
never
she
got
asked, She never got it at the end.
It's like being
So-
in Europe. They don't like to give water in Europe either. Maybe they were trying to give you a real European experience.
I don't know. The
Was
food
it
was
really
really
good?
It was very good. And what was impressive is that everybody was dressed up in there. It was very nice. Everybody really was making
Yeah.
an occasion out of it. And it wasn't unreasonably priced. I thought it was good. I'd definitely go back there. So that was a
I
good
agree.
night out for us.
I always know when you guys are doing something because Maisie's now on TikTok and posts like 100 videos of every outfit she ever wears. It's, oh, I wore my bow jeans. Let me take literally 75 videos. I'm like, did you spend 2 hours just taking TikToks? Every day there's a new one featuring the bow jeans.
No, they actually don't take that long to make, but I was told if you want to grow your TikTok, you have to post 3 times a day. So if you're listening and you have TikTok, give me a follow, Maisie_filler.
I thought it was Maze.
MAISIE.
What's Maze then?
MAISA. That's what, okay, I changed it back to Maisie. You can only change it every 7 days. I've had TikTok for a week, so I can change it. So
Only
now
a
it's back
week?
to Macy.
I'm already like fatigued by all the things.
You don't have to watch it. It's not meant for you. It's meant for the
I'm kidding.
people.
I'm kidding. I've
Well,
seen so much of you in a week.
I just have questions because I don't understand TikTok. I
It's
don't
literally
understand.
so easy and you're overthinking it. It's
But
like,
you watch,
I don't know
you
what to
watch
say to you.
Reels.
I showed you. No, she doesn't know how to use it. I'm like, I showed you how to post
No,
it.
she
I don't know
gave
what
me
else
the-
there is to say.
She gave me the login for our podcast TikTok, and I'm clueless because you open up the window for it, and there are all these buttons on the right
window.
side.
The app.
How many
the
times
app.
did I tell you to not worry about the buttons on the
I
side?
know, but they're there, and what do? They don't.
But can I just say something? When you post an Instagram, there's also or an Instagram story, there's buttons on the top, not the side. So it's no different.
I know, but I feel like it's more intuitive on Instagram. I feel like TikTok is
It's way easier
Confusing.
on TikTok. I don't know.
no, I don't know.
I guess
That's
we're not
fine.
growing. I guess we're not gonna have a TikTok then if we can't figure it out.
What else have you had going on, Emma?
We got a new mattress, which was very exciting. And of course, like, I'm like, Bobby, do you like it? And he's, yeah. And I'm like, I really like the difference. Like, it feels really nice. Yeah, I don't really notice. Like, I don't really care. I didn't even care about getting any mattress in the first place.
I
I'm
don't
like,
think he
"Can't you
liked
just-"
the old one though.
He didn't. Literally, I spent like $400 on the old one with different toppers because he was the one complaining about it like 2 years ago when we first moved into our apartment. But so we got a new mattress, and then he shockingly, I was like, okay, your job is to figure out how to get rid of the old one. And so we put the new one on our bed and slid the old one into the hallway in our apartment. And I'm like, it's definitely going to sit here for 3 days. There's no way he does anything with it right away. The next hour, his friend came over, they took it in his friend's truck, and it was gone.
Impressive.
Right?
Good
He's
job.
been really nice lately, so I'm like, what did you do? Did you do something? Like today, I was like, you
always
need to help me
nice.
clean the apartment later. But sometimes he, like, to his credit, because I come off aggressive, I'm like, you need to help me clean. And I probably say it ruder than that, like, why don't you help me clean ever? And this place is a dump. And he takes it as an attack and gets defensive. And he'll be like, I do all these things. And so I'm like, can't you just say, yes, I'll help you? And so today he was like, of course. What do you need me to help with? And I was like,
Huh.
Maybe he wants to go on some trip or something.
He has 800 trips planned, and I don't care when he goes on trips. Like, he plays this woe is me fiance. Like, the best is he texted his friends the other day about some bachelor party being like, the warden said I could go. And he, like, is laughing as he's sending it, telling me. When literally all I said was, oh, when is it? Just so I can mark it in my calendar that you're gone. Like, literally didn't even care. And he's like, haha, how funny is that? I'm like, they're going to think I'm some crazy person. The warden. I'm like, he's like, you're my managing director. That's what he calls me. MD.
So the other thing that I had going on this past week, I took my car. What are you laughing at?
The other thing.
The kid on the elevator.
Count number two.
Apparently, the other thing I had, and apparently we need to talk about.
I thought that was something, another word. What was that? It wasn't apparently.
Yeah, it was.
He's the apparently kid. And he would just input it like, apparently I really liked the amusement park ride, and apparently I'm going to get a churro with my grandpa.
Mom, you've definitely never seen that video, so it is apparently.
I think we've already talked about it on the podcast, and Mom was like, oh, when
we
did that come out? And I was like, 2010. Literally, that was the kid's probably out of college at this point.
He's probably in prison.
Why would you say that? He was
Child
like
star.
5. He wasn't a child
went
star.
off the radar. You don't know.
What did you want to talk about?
I had to bring my car in for its service, which is a huge imposition because Dad always does that, but he wasn't feeling well, so he didn't come down. So I had to bring it in myself. And then I get there, and I feel like it's set up to make women feel like they're idiots. So I go in there, it's a service call. So he gives me this sheet with 5 different columns on it. You know, premier, deluxe, whatever. And it has all these things under each column. And I said to him, this might as well be written in Chinese because I don't know what. It's like flushing the carburetor. I don't know what any of it means. And last column is 3 times what the first column is. And I said, why wouldn't I just pick the first column? And he said, because the last column's better. And I said, but why is it better? So by the time I was done, I got the cheapest column because he didn't want to explain anything to me.
I know. I always get stressed when I have to do car things. And then Bobby's convinced that I'm going to let them take advantage of me as if like it's a negotiation.
I go in there on guard.
That's like one time I paid like $175 to get my oil changed at like Monroe Muffler near me. And someone tried to tell me that it was like a scam. Like I got
$175?
That's a lot.
Maybe $150?
That seems
maybe
like
like
a lot.
$150 for an oil change? Like
I thought it was like $50 for an oil change.
No, I think it's more expensive now because it costs them a lot to dispose of it.
And it's all they're doing when I took it in. It's not like you're doing some big repair and they're just throwing some oil in. So I didn't think it was that crazy, but someone made me feel crazy. But I'm like, it takes them like 45 minutes.
No.
They have to make money. Like, how much are they really going to charge?
It says at Tires Plus it's $29.99 here.
Yeah.
So I think you got scammed.
You did get scammed. Maybe you
Well,
got
that was my old
$175.
really good oil.
That was my old car that I don't own anymore. And this car will be taken to the Volvo dealership where I hopefully won't get scammed. Or no, it's covered under my lease right now anyway. So I'm like, not out of my pocket.
Yes, I think you got scammed on that. And then they had to keep it for a while because they were looking at some other warranty issue on my car, which was fine. So they were going to give me a ride home instead of giving me a loaner car because it was only one day. Fine. But the lady that normally drives you had already taken somebody else, so they call you an Uber. So the Uber I got on the way home. Great.
I'm surprised you stood for this.
They're like, oh, go stand over there and the car will be here. And I'm like, what? And then all of a sudden I get a text, your Uber is here. And so I had a nice lady drive me home. And then after they send one to pick you up. And this guy comes and picks me up. He is playing like the loudest music in the car with all the windows down. And so I didn't want to be that person, but I was like, we're on the highway.
I'm just imagining you in the back. With like your hair blowing.
I was like, you had to have to put the windows up. So then he put the windows up. But then I remembered that Uber drivers can give you ratings as a customer,
Did you
which
get
I
a bad
think is a
rating?
scam. I don't know. I have to look at it. But I was like, I don't want a bad rating. But I'm the customer. Why should I get rated?
Because
Usually
if
it's
someone
like if you
dangerous
throw up
decides
or
to take an
something.
Uber.
I like how we go two different ways. Me, like if you throw up in the Uber, slash if you're like there to murder the Uber.
No, but if you did something obnoxious, but if you're just a customer, I just don't understand why you get a rating. But anyways,
I feel like you're saying
I
that
think
because
you
you don't
should.
have a good rating on Uber.
I don't know what my
I've never
rating is.
checked my rating.
My rating is really good. It's 4.9 something, which is hard to have.
Wait,
Which I
now
don't
I
know how
need to
it's true
look.
because like when I say I like mostly use my Ubers with my friends when like we're all going out. 4.91,
too.
that's pretty good.
This was the most aggressive music that you can imagine, all the way there.
He's just
It
living
was
his
an
day,
experience.
you know?
Emma's
It was an
like,
experience.
Emma always takes the other person's side. Have you
She
noticed
does.
that?
Oh,
I just like to be the
contraire.
devil's advocate, and you two are kind of difficult, so I sometimes side with people. So I feel like there's a second side to the story that I need
Am
to
I
hear.
difficult? I got body checked in the airport yesterday by a like 40-year-old man, like full
Were you
on
being slow?
slammed into.
Why?
I was
How?
trying to. Okay? Atlanta airport,
Oh.
crazy. There's like intersections of people, and I'm taking a left. It's like I'm signaling. I'm going left to get onto the escalator to the tram, and he's coming this way, and I turn, and I like way before, and he like keeps cutting into me and goes bam, like slams into me, and keeps walking.
Sounds like you didn't have the right of way, though.
Does your wife know you behave like that in the airport? That's what I
Yeah,
would say to him.
exactly. And then I can't talk about the guy who sat next to me on the plane on the podcast, but
I
he
feel
was
like you
picking
two
his
are like the
nose.
definition of no one else can exist if you guys are around.
No.
It's like, oh,
he
you
didn't.
want? Oh, I'm here. Everyone else better bow down.
No, actually, it's not that way. I feel like I fall into peer pressure because I got off the tram and you have to take the escalator up, but like the people in front of me were walking up the escalator. And so I was like, so for
That's
some
when you
reason
move to the right.
no,
Yeah,
in,
there's not
in
room
front of
there.
me. They were in front of me. So I was like, I guess I'll walk up the escalator too.
But those escalators
time
are
I
really
like peer
steep there.
pressured. Yeah, I got
One time I was-
exercise though.
I was in the Atlanta airport on like the tram going between terminals. I think for work or something. I was like connecting, and there was like this little old lady, and she was like, "Does anyone never flown in this airport before?" And I was like, "Anyone know where I'm supposed to go?" And I literally was like, "I'm not getting involved in
Good
that
luck,
because now I'm
lady.
making her flight." Like, she had no idea where she was, where she had to go. I was
So
like,
you
"That's
just
not my
left her?
problem." No, she didn't ask me directly.
I know that
I'm
airport like the back
I'm
of my
the filler
hand.
in person where like in public I put my head down. Like I don't want unless you're saying hi to me, like I'm not saying hi to you unless you're like my best friend.
See, whereas
I've started.
I would be accompanying her to the gate.
Yeah, no, that was not happening.
How do you see? Oh, I have a 5-star rating.
Oh, nice.
How? Why do you have dad's name on your Uber?
Because they think it's a man, so they can't take advantage that I'm a girl.
But then you get in and you're a girl, so that's tough.
But they wouldn't necessarily pick her as a ride if they think it's a man, if they're after something.
I feel like
don't know.
Maisie, like for some reason along the lines of her being raised, you or dad put the like fear of God in her that she was gonna get human trafficked. That's all she ever talks about. And like in the airports, how like she doesn't want to be alone.
Remember, Emma, we were flying somewhere. You and I were flying somewhere, and you went to the bathroom. And all of a sudden, I looked up and I realized how long it had been, and I was just sweat, but I didn't want to leave all our stuff. And when you came back, you saw me. You're like, "What's wrong?" And I'm like, "Oh, you were gone so long." And she goes, "Tell me what story you had made up." I said, somebody came into the bathroom and they took you. They kidnapped you.
No, and that's been the theme of my whole life. Like when I wanted to go to my first concert, like by myself, I think I was a freshman or sophomore in high school. And I still remember where I was when we were having the conversation. We were in your car and we had picked up Maisie at Cobb School. So I was probably a freshman because she was still in Cobb School, pulling out of the Cobb School like across from the Walkers. And I remember you going, "But what if you go to the porta potty? And so you're alone because you're in the porta potty and then someone opens it and snatches you and then your friends don't know where you went."
But that
know what to
also
say.
can happen.
Exactly.
Okay,
Like
anything
that's
could
the
happen.
reality of the
I
world
could
now.
fall off my chair and die right now, but you can't worry about all of the potential things that could happen.
I walk around like when I'm alone and I look at you, I'm like, don't even look at me. And you walk assertively, like you
have
know
to.
what you're
Shoulders
doing, you know
back,
where you're
chin up.
going.
Mhm.
Yeah. Me in
Yeah, I don't
Walmart,
think I
I
give
was like,
off, like,
don't
a-
even try.
I definitely don't give off an air of, oh, me? I like William look at me and I will run the other way. I
Yeah.
just don't even want to socialize more so. That's my first fear in public is socialization. Should we move on to some? I don't like the goings on. I feel like I'm saying it wrong, but
Okay.
I thought it called What in the World?
Yes. But
Did you change the name? And I
No.
didn't realize.
No.
I
That's
thought what
just
in the
it.
world was pop culture.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, we have 5 different segments now?
This is like a social commentary.
Just things I've
well,
seen in the
like-
news.
Wait, that's different than social commentary. I have a social
Okay.
comment.
Yes.
The weirdest thing happened to me yesterday. I went to lunch at Texas Roadhouse because there's nothing here. And I sat at the bar because everyone goes to church here. So everyone was out after church. And so I sat at the bar and there was this couple next to me. And I said, oh, is this seat free? They're like, yeah, take it. So I get my drink. I order, sitting there. And then their like 40-year-old son comes up behind me and he's like, hey, miss, you mind if I sit with my parents? And I'm like looking around. I'm like, were they not going to tell me? Like,
So
they
you took
said,
his
oh, yeah,
seat?
I guess. But like, I asked them and they let me take his seat. And he's, do you mind moving to the seat down there? I'm like, no, not at all. But I was like, isn't that weird?
Maybe they were trying to get rid of him. They didn't want him to sit next
I
to them for
know.
dinner.
Yeah, maybe they haven't seen their son in 40 years. Please get him away
I
from
was
us.
like, sure.
When you go
but-
sit at the bar for lunch, do you order a cocktail or do you just not?
No, I went to play golf after.
Because no, my question is leading into this.
She was
because
like, do you
I
want a
feel like
margarita? And I'm like, no, I'll have an Arnold Palmer, please, with
I feel like I
unsweet tea.
can't sit at a bar and take up a bar seat if I'm not ordering a drink.
It was 12 noon.
That's like my social dilemma.
It's noon.
I'm not saying that you have to drink at noon. I'm just saying that's my thought when I go to sit at a
That's
bar somewhere.
weird.
It's like, well, we can only sit. Really? That's what the bar is for. If I saw someone at the bar and I got to a bar and I wanted to have a drink and a nap, and someone's sitting there with an Arnold Palmer and some rolls, I'd be like, get out of my seat. That's not for
But
me.
I was eating a salad. So what do you want me to do? Not eat? Or
Get out
wait
of
an
my
hour?
Like, get a table.
But I had to wait an hour.
I guess it's lunch, so it's better, but still.
I'll probably be eating at the bar tonight by myself again. So
I hope you tip well.
I also don't
What?
really drink. Are we goings on? Are we pop culture? Are we
Goings
TV?
on and then TV. We're not doing pop culture today.
No.
So, do you want to give out name tags at a party, Mom? Is that like your new thing?
Yeah, my question is, so if I'm having some ladies over for a girls' night and I'm bringing a bunch of people that most of them don't know each other together, can I give out name tags? Is
How
that
many people?
10?
No.
No.
Yeah.
I think you need to have at least 50 people to need to give a name tag.
I just love a good name tag. It helps me remember somebody's name because I can picture it in my mind forevermore.
I agree. Like, I'm really bad at names, and that's why I love Zoom calls because it has the person's name. But at the same time, like, if I went to a party and they gave me a name tag, I'd say, I don't know if I'm ever coming back here.
Oh.
Yeah, what if
That's a
you
bummer.
have a really nice sweater on and then you have to put a sticky name
Yeah,
tag
that's
on
the
it?
worst.
Like,
Like, when
that's
I
a
give
no.
here, I put this.
And then
What
you
if I
rip it
got-
off and the
The
strands of the
fuzz.
sweater go with it.
What if I got hats with their names on them? No.
You
I
know
think
what?
you just need to
If-
rely on people, like, being normal.
People
and
want
memorizing
to know
names.
each other, and if they want to know each other, they'll learn their name.
What if I
If
post
not-
a list of everybody's name with their photo next to it on the counter?
That's
You
weird.
would do that and
Like,
think
okay,
it's
like
funny?
traders, like the traders board that has all the
Yes!
pictures.
I could get like a little easel and have a poster board. I do have a poster board I could print
Mom,
out
you know what
photos
that
from
sounds
Instagram.
like? It sounds like
I
you have
walk
too
in the
much
party and say,
time
"Oh,
on your
this-
hands.
Or this woman's gonna axe murder me. I don't know her, and she has like a dartboard of my head on it. I need to get out of here."
Okay, so that's a no.
My dilemma, what I texted you guys about, was coming up with a fun fact about myself for work.
Oh my
which is my
gosh, yeah.
least favorite thing in the entire world, and it always has been. Like even in college, like the first day of class every semester, they would be like, go around here and say your name and what grade you're in and a fun fact about yourself. And I know I'm like a fun person, but like I don't have that many interesting facts about me, and so I always struggle with that. And it's like my least favorite question. But I think
I
it's more
just
that
thought
I'm
of
just not
one.
creative.
For
Didn't
Emma
you
or
break
for
your
you?
leg twice? Didn't you break your leg twice? Or
No.
only once?
No, just once.
Um,
It just was so
How many
long
bones?
that felt like
How
it was
many
nice.
bones have you broken? Didn't you break your arm?
No.
Yeah. Yes, I did. I broke my wrist.
When did you break
Remember
your
she
wrist?
rolled down a hill or something?
I fell up a hill. Remember?
Oh,
I
at
remember
Westminster.
that.
No, it wasn't at Westminster.
No,
It was,
she
the
was,
seventh
like-
grade.
She was with, like,
that's right.
Jolene.
Yes.
No,
I
I
was
remember
running and
thinking-
I fell. And I had
I
to have
remember
this
thinking
cast
it was
that my
fake.
thumb was casted in. And then so I was in a permanent thumbs up, and my annoying math teacher in middle school would be like, "How you doing, Emma?" And I was in a constant thumbs up, and I was like, "It's not funny."
You had a rough
Every
middle
day.
school thing. Is you still had your boot on from your broken
I
leg
started
when
a
you
new
went to middle
school.
school. And
I
then
still
you had the
remember what I
cast.
wore. It was like this bejeweled Ed Hardy butterfly shirt from Marshalls. With mini bone like jean shorts that had the pockets for hearts because I was still skinny enough to wear like kids' clothes. My legs were like twigs. And then my walking boot. Like, what a time. What a look I've had.
The cool kids.
Literally. No, but my fun fact I gave to work, which, sorry everyone, I didn't say that I was on a podcast because I haven't gotten there yet with everyone at work. But I did say that last year I read 58 books, 54 books.
Wow, that's pretty good.
I know. The year before that I read 82.
That's impressive.
I don't know how you did that. Like, I don't
Are
believe
Me
it.
either.
Are they all swashbuckler
sure?
romances?
I never said that they were up caliber. What do you mean, am I sure?
Were they like 100
literally took-
pages?
No.
That's a lot of
Look.
books, Emma.
82.
Wow, that's
But you can't
impressive.
see it.
Does it say number of pages read? That means you
I don't
had a
know how
lot
to
of
see
time
that.
on your hands. There's no way with your busy schedule now you could read that many books.
That's why it's gone down every year.
How many books are you at
This
this
year?
year?
2, but I read like probably 4 or 5 in like paper.
I also saw the fun facts about yourself question. There was an article on it and how people are trying to come up with different spin on it so that when you meet somebody, it's not the same old questions. Tell me a fun fact about yourself. So
I know.
one of the ones that they referenced in the article was, what was your first concert and why did you like it or not like it?
Pitbull!
That was your first one? Pitbull.
Yeah.
Of course it was.
Mine was my favorite
The
fun fact
master.
is actually this is a good fun fact, but it's only for the right audience. My first concert was Rascal Flatts and Taylor Swift opened.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's before she was a big star.
But that was when Mom like scanned the parking guy. The guy was like, "Ma'am, this is VIP parking," and she was like, "Yeah, I know," and just kept driving by. And we didn't have VIP parking, and
No,
that was
no, I
also
think-
the first time I saw a drunk person.
No. So the thing is, I did have VIP parking, but I didn't print out the right thing, so they wouldn't let me in.
Oh,
So when
yeah.
I got to the entrance, they said no, and I pretended I was going to back up, and I said, "Let me know when she turns her head." So she turned her head, and I gunned it past her, and we made it in. But legitimately, I had a right to be there. They just didn't know it.
But that was my first concert. But I hate fun facts.
But I think that's a
But
good
that's
one
okay.
to ask a first group of people together at a job or at college or wherever, that there's a lot of stale questions they ask as icebreakers. So that's a good icebreaker. Or favorite
true.
movie. I always think that's a good, that gives you some insight.
What's
into
your
a
favorite
person.
movie?
My favorite movie?
I feel like
I
it's
don't
gonna
know.
be
When
something
someone asks
really
me,
bizarre.
I can't think about it.
Mine depends on the day.
Probably.
I also
Old
don't like
School.
watching things more than once. Old School.
I love that movie.
That's so off-brand.
Old School, Tommy Boy, or Wedding Crashers. 3 classics.
I think mine would either be the Twilight series, the High School Musical series, because those are two formative and life-changing series of my life. I used to be the biggest Twilight fan, in case anyone didn't know that. My room was covered in Twilight paraphernalia that it was literally probably, I don't know why mom and dad didn't think I was going to like murder someone because the whole...
That was the pre-Justin Bieber era, wasn't it? Yes.
We were still in the Justin Bieber era. And I remember the Twilight movie came out, and I think I watched a Twilight movie, I'm not kidding, maybe 85 times. While I was up there, I brought the DVD with me, and I was just like, repeat. What a time.
Your room in Connecticut had the entire ceiling covered with whatever was in her mind at the moment. And then it was vampires. So it was every picture of Kristen Stewart and what's the guy's name?
Robert Pattinson, Taylor Lautner.
Yes, all of them.
But I was Team Edward, which is
terrifying.
Robert. It was terrifying. And then it turned into Justin Bieber. And I was the only kid that really, I feel like Nat and Maisie didn't have like obsessions like that. So I don't know what's wrong in my brain that I would like hyperfixate on things,
you had.
which I still do.
Because I was normal. No, I wasn't normal.
Okay. So everyone knows that she's weirder than I am. When she would go to sleep at night, she would claim that there was this woman called the Chalk Lady that would write on her chalkboard. And I just want everyone to know that if I have a kid that tells me there's a ghost coming in their room and writing on the chalkboard, like I don't know what I'm gonna do with that kid. Like I don't know.
You guys
That's
don't get
so
it.
Creepy.
Like what you just brought up, I literally am anxious just you saying that. Like I'm panicking.
Why?
Because it's just so real to me. I didn't have
the blue lady. Were the blue lady and the chalk lady? Oh.
No, Natalie was
my
the blue
least favorite
lady.
Story.
Maybe it's the same lady.
Oh. Mom,
no, you can't see her. You can only hear her though, and then you sit up and she's gone. No, I'm literally
like a horror
gonna
movie
cry.
on Netflix.
I'm literally gonna cry.
I literally tell people
I
this
hate
story
it.
all the time, and the one about how Nat got
Nallie's feels real.
when she was little, and she was like, "Oh, I've seen that before," and you were like, "Never showed you these pictures of like my dad from like the 30s," and she was like, "The blue lady showed them to me."
The blue lady
Actually,
comes.
Mom, I would move.
Yeah.
We're moving.
The blue lady woke me up at night and was showing me this picture album, and she goes, "That's the album she showed me, the one you're showing me." And I was like,
"What'd you say?"
Sort of cool.
Sometimes I think that house was haunted.
Maybe it was.
I never had any weird things like that. Besides with Nat claimed she saw a bobcat on the roof. And then she slept in my room for 3 years.
Speaking of the vampire movies, what's everybody watching now on TV or...
Is this Tube Talk?
Tube Talk.
Are we Tube Talking?
Yes.
I'm still Formula One obsessed, and Natalie was peeing her pants because she's like, again, I guess it's like hyper fixation. She's like, it's so you that you became obsessed with Formula One. Like last weekend, Bobby was gone on weekend, and he come home, and because I was sick last weekend, I literally watched probably like 30 episodes of it because there's 7 seasons. And
this is the reality series, Formula One, not actual
documentary,
races.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is, but it has the races in them. But yes. And literally, I would pause it every 10 seconds to explain something to him, and he was like, he didn't care. Like, he wasn't asking me questions. So, like, I just wanted to tell him all the things I've learned. And I'm like, can I just watch it? Because you keep pausing it. And, like, I was so amped up. But I'm still, like, obsessed. That's all I watch.
Formula One, it's become popular for, like, bougie girls to go to, it seems.
If you watch it, it seems like in Europe, it's a very, like, classy, like high,
like wealthy people
like,
go.
events to go.
But they have it
here
too, don't they? Hold them here.
They'll have them in Miami.
Miami, and they have
Vegas. I thought
they've done 3 years in Miami, 2 years in Vegas, and I think like a year in Austin.
Okay.
So it's only been in the U.S. for 3 years, but yeah. But there's no American drivers in it. Like Americans.
I think cousin Amanda
went
to one of the races either in Italy, somewhere in Europe. She went last year.
Yeah.
So I have a dumb
The
question.
Monaco one is the biggest one. What?
Yes.
How is it different than like the Daytona like raceway? Is because it's not a closed circuit?
Different cars.
No, but is it still a closed
it.
circuit, or do you drive on a real road?
Depends where they're racing. So like Monaco is on the streets of Monaco, so they make a track.
Okay,
on the
that's
streets
what
of
I
Monaco.
thought. Okay.
It's kind of crazy. But then there's some where it's like a circuit, like a racetrack.
So you're in a stadium.
But the cars are way different. Whereas like NASCAR, it looks like a normal car almost that they're driving. This looks like a really souped up golf cart, and 50% of the battle is like them
A golf
making
cart?
a good car. Or a go-kart.
Oh, I was like, a golf cart? How fast could that go?
Maisie's thinking, I'm going to get into that.
No,
No,
was
and they're
not.
going up to like 250 miles an hour. And I don't know how fast they, but like
Yeah.
NASCAR, like some of the drivers in it, they'll be like, oh, I want to go drive in NASCAR if they don't get signed a contract again. And they're like, yeah, no, I'm never doing that. Like that's the F1 cars.
Oh, okay. Totally different. Because the Daytona ones look
I think it's
like
much more
souped up
dangerous.
Camaros or something, right?
Yeah, I think it's way different. They definitely don't go as fast. But so it's my new obsession.
My TV obsession has been The Pit on HBO Max, which is the medical show where it's all the season's episodes are in one day, each hour of that one day. And Maisie wasn't really thrilled with it, so she's dropped off of it, but I kept watching it and I really liked it. It was great.
I know it's on my list because I do like medical shows, so I want to watch that.
It's just like, ugh.
No, I thought it was cool because it strings all stories together. It drags on. No,
well,
I really
it's like
liked it.
This dad's dying for 4 episodes. Like, just die. Sorry.
I know,
like,
they had some.
They're like crying, but then he wakes up, but then they're crying because then he goes back into a coma.
But they bring it all together.
Like, it's sad.
They bring it all together in the later episodes. Yeah, it's depressing. The whole show is depressing. The other thing I'm watching that I watched up till the current one is White Lotus, which is very weird.
I need to watch that. I've only watched the first episode of season 3.
I keep seeing things that something weird's happening. I haven't watched it.
But
yet,
that's every season.
Everything I read online though makes me appreciate it because I feel like it's supposed to be a hyper focused or hyper dramatized version of what our society is about.
Yes.
I feel like he does a really good job, Mike White, of doing that. Like all the things I see of those 3 women on vacation, how accurate is that as like a group of 3 women that have been like lifelong friends in quotations? Like they cracked me up. But
2 at any one time, 2 are off talking about the other behind her back.
Yes.
That's one of the themes of that group. And then the rich family with the 3 rich kids that are fighting, and the dad that's under a lot of pressure, and the wife that's on drugs.
I do think the incest was a little bit far, but
yeah,
we'll
that
let
was
that go.
Spoiler alert.
Beyond. Yeah, they don't know. Nobody knows who she's talking about. But I do like it more now that I've watched all of the episodes. The first episode I wasn't thrilled with.
I feel like the problem with the show is that for it to be good, you have to have watched all the episodes to say, okay, that was a good show. Because individually by themselves, each episode feels like a little bit boring.
Then how do you push yourself to watch it all?
Because they give a preview in the beginning that like someone gets murdered.
Every single character has some sort of secret underlying thing going on.
They're building up all of this to tell you what those things are at the end. So you know you're getting to something exciting, but you have to get through a lot of stuff. But it is a weird show.
And you're trying to figure out the whole time how they get to what happened in the first episode.
In my time this week, maybe I'll watch an episode or 2.
But what was the show you were obsessed with, Maze, that I turned you on to?
The Karen Reed documentary on HBO. I watched it on the plane and then finished it last night because I was absolutely so fascinated and I don't even know what to think. And I feel like I have so many questions.
Karen Reed is accused of hitting her boyfriend with her car as a snowstorm started outside of Boston 3 years ago, I think. 4 years
2022, I think.
Yeah, so 3 years ago. And he was found under snow the next morning. She claims she left him at this house, saw him go in, and
he was dead. So
he's dead, yes. And so her defense is that somebody in the house did something to him and is trying to frame her. And it seems crazy, like, well, her taillight was broken, but there's all this evidence of other things that happened with the other witnesses that the whole time you're watching it, Maisie, I don't know if you agree, every 20 minutes you change your mind. You think, oh,
Yes.
she did it. Oh, no, she definitely
No.
didn't do it. And she has a huge fan base. There's hundreds of people in pink shirts outside the courtroom cheering for her and unfortunately harassing the family because the family thinks
Well,
she did it.
Isn't there a whole undertone though of corruption in the police force because he was a police
Yes,
officer?
it's egregious.
yes, but so the house he was found outside of was a sergeant's house, right, Mom?
Yes. Mhm.
And but there were other police personnel and I think it was
A
I
DEA
believe
agent.
a DEA agent that was also there with them that night.
But he had kissed her before, the DEA
They had
agent. It was
they
like,
the DEA agent and her had all these back and forth texts, which I don't really find relevant to the case. He's not going to kill John O'Keefe over
his
your
girl.
hot text,
Right.
but the correspondence between the sergeant on the case saying, "I hope Karen Reed kills herself" to his friends while he's investigating her is crazy to me.
And talking about her in the most egregious misogynist terms you've ever heard
Yeah.
on a text that they made him read.
Yeah,
on the
he had to
stand.
read all the texts he said. Did you say she was hot? Did you say she had a butt? Like all this
Yeah, but
stuff.
that's like nothing compared to the other stuff he said.
And I think he was like, I hope she killed him or something. I forget what he said. But it really is so fascinating because the prosecution presents this evidence like this happened, and then the defense comes in and totally flips your mind.
Undercuts it. Mhm.
And I think it will be a mistrial anytime they try it. You can't prove it beyond a reasonable doubt based on all this weird stuff that happened. Like the
No.
tail light, they didn't find any tail light for hours, and then suddenly they find 30 pieces of tail light. I'm sorry, that's weird to me.
It ended in a mistrial last year, and they decided to try her again, and
It's in
starts
April.
in another month. Yeah.
April. But also the thing that
I have to go, but you guys should continue.
okay, but the thing that makes me think that maybe she did it is I don't understand like how else plausibly he could have died.
So you think if
And
she
maybe
didn't
it was
do
all
it,
an accident. But how do you not feel someone hitting the body and the shattered cocktail glass? That doesn't make sense either if they killed him and put him there.
I don't know that they've proven that she did it or how it happened with the car. There's all this contradictory evidence of whether the car would have caused his injuries. But you're right. Conversely, it doesn't really make sense with them. Why would they kill him, first of all? They haven't proven any cause for them to kill him. Their theory, I think, was that they had gotten to some sort of argument about something in the house and that he
And they were
died.
drunk by accident or
Yes.
something.
And she could have hit him because she had 10 drinks. She admitted basically they had on video over the night from the bar. But she's like a cult figure now up there. It's
But
incredible.
I honestly find it interesting that she is because throughout the whole documentary, I never found her likable.
I know, it's weird.
Especially in the first part or throughout. It felt like she really enjoyed the fame of it all. She's like
Gauntlet.
soaking it up, like she loves it. And maybe that's just her personality. But
Yeah.
she never showed emotion until the very end when she was crying after the mistrial, what she went through. If someone like you or I were going through that, we would probably be like crying the entire time.
You don't
I don't
know, but
know.
under pressure, you don't know how people are going to react. But her lawyer is excellent. He's doing an amazing job.
That guy, I know,
Yeah,
he's like
really good.
The
But-
prosecutor was a dud, like in his final argument.
I know. I feel bad.
He could at least practice and make sure he could finish on time.
Yeah, he ran out of time.
poor guy.
But it's totally taken over Massachusetts in that area. My friend that
But
lives up there said it's
How is
everywhere.
a jury going to unanimously agree one way or the other unless they find some new evidence? There's no way everyone can agree.
I don't see it at this
Because
point.
I feel pretty unbiased. Like, I went in to watch it unbiased, and I don't know. I
Well,
don't
I
think I
think
could decide.
the state police screwed themselves by that one guy who had all
And
those
he got
texts,
suspended.
which he should have. He should have been fired, actually. But all those texts that he was sending about her while he's investigating her, it just gives the appearance of impropriety and casts doubt on everything they did.
And he was friends with the people, and
Yes.
I don't know, I found it weird.
Yeah, that's
Like, you
very
have
weird.
all those police cars and you don't come out of the house. I wouldn't be needed in the investigation. But
If
you
people are
think
in your front yard, you'd be out there.
and you're a police officer, so that's your job.
I think it's very similar to the OJ trial, which I know was a long, long time ago, but they have a newer special out about it. And there it was because one of the detectives had made some racist remarks that the jury just discounted everything he said. And that's how OJ got off, because they undercut everything that the detective testified to by his prior statements. And that's the same thing here.
But that was way more clear that I think he did it.
Oh, yes. I'm saying it's the same
Type,
syndrome.
yeah, like, it didn't even make me want to
Yes.
listen to anything they said because
you just looked at him
of
and thought,
how they
oh my
acted.
God, you're
They were
such
all
a
like,
loser.
they were all duds.
Yeah.
Even like even the women, that woman that looked up how long to die in the cold.
The whole thing is suspicious. The whole
I
thing.
was confused by that, but
And his poor family is left to deal with all this, and
like the kids, I feel bad for those kids
I
that are
know.
harassed.
So that's going to be an interesting one to watch. Okay, so should we wrap this up, Maze, for today?
Yeah. Thanks for listening to another episode of the Tough Crowd podcast. We will see you next time for some pop culture.
See ya.
See ya.